Alright, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So today, if there's any crackheads beating on the fence, I just snatch that with y'all.
Home Depot.
Huh?
Home Depot sells machetes.
No, this ain't from Home Depot.
I got a crowbar in my car.
But you gotta get to your car first, right?
Just run out there, the crackhead's already got it. They're like, hey, that belongs to me, I think.
Here you go, take it. Alright, so we're on chapter 142. Bab Tib al-Nafs. Alright, Taba yatibu Tiban, it means that what? Tib al-Nafs, it means that you wake up, you're just in a good mood. You're just like, everything's just good today. It's just like, you have no anxiety, no worries, just everything's just good. And this is obviously the best way of getting this sleep enough is how? What's the best way of doing this?
Getting sleep enough. Believing and doing the deeds.
That was specifically about this that was mentioned in the hadith, but it's not going to be here. What did the Prophet ﷺ say about a person when he sleeps? What does shaitan do to him?
He ties 3 knots on him.
He ties 3 knots on the al-qafa. The qafa is the back part, that bone, right there in the back part of the head. So, يعقد ثلاث عقد, in the back of his qafa, in the back of the nape of his neck. All right, and then what does he do? What does he would do those the 3 knots? Because we know that the knots are from sihr, from a form of witchcraft. So what does he do with these knots? He says into the knots, like a laylatun tawila, namu, khalas. So basically, you have a long night. So sleep and relax, and he says this into the knots.
Shaitan does sihr to us every night.
Every night. He says this into the knots. He said, like a laylatun tawila. You have a long night. Relax, chill, go to sleep. He said, so if he gets up in the last part of the night, before Fajr, this happens before Fajr, because if he sleeps until Fajr comes in, that's the last part of the hadith. But he said, if he wakes up in the night, the last third of the night, وَذَكَرَ اللَّهِ, what happens? The first knot gets untied. And he said, well, تَوَضَّعْ. What? Second knot gets untied. وَصَلَّ مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَهُ. And he prays whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for him, then what? And then the third night gets untied. And he wakes up طيب النفس نشيطا. And he wakes up and his nafs is good. He feels good. He's ready to go through the day. And he has energy. He's nasheet. He's active. He said, but what about the abd that sleeps all the way? He doesn't get up. And those 3 knots don't get untied. And then he sleeps all the way into hatta asbah. فقال فذاك إيش؟ And the shaitan bala fi udhani. Or fi udhani. The shaitan urinates in his ear. And he also wakes up what? Like the Prophet ﷺ said, khabithun nafs kaslan. That he wakes up and his nafs is really just like he feels despicable. And he's real lazy throughout the day. He can't, he just can't get going. Doesn't matter how much coffee you drink. And this is the reality. If you've seen at a time when you wake up at night, in the last third, even if it's half an hour before Fajr, you wake up, you remember Allah, you go make wudu, you pray, just even if it's just witr, whatever Allah has written for you, you have energy, you're ready to go. But if you sleep all the way until it's time to get up for Fajr, man, it's just woof. Those are the worst days, The worst days, you just said you can't get moving. Everything that you do that day is just real heavy, especially with the deen. You want to pray Fajr, then after Fajr you pray, and then after you pray Fajr, then you sit down and try to read Quran, and it's just real heavy. Like a Jews that might seem like it just zooms by. It seems like it takes 5 hours, and you look at the clock, and you're just looking at the clock. You're real heavy with your nafs. And what about the person who sleeps until the sun's shining on his face? Allah musta'an. Wallahi. That's just, he didn't give an example for that person. He just gave an example for the man nama hatta asbah. the person who slept up until the Fajr entered. You know, he didn't mention the guy. So this is the person that Shaitan urinated in his ears. What did Latmash used to say about this?
I don't know.
He said he would joke around and say, if Shaitan urinates in his ears, he defecates in my throat. You know, it's like he used to, but he was saying that from Bab Tawada. Al-Amash would say that because Al-Amash was in the front row for every single Fajr. But he's joking, like he says this as like, you know, from Min Bab Tawada, like to show humility. But in reality, Al-Amash said like, what was it, like maybe, I can't remember if it's like maybe 70 years. 70 years, he said, I never saw the back of the head of a person.
I think those staring to sleep.
And both of them, a lot of them said that. So you see that statement from a lot of the Salaf. Because they were always in the front row. They've always been in the front row. The years differ. Some of them 40 years, some of them 70 years.
Well, I don't know, it's 40.
What are you bringing that joker in here for?
It's 40.
He's a joker?
Huh?
Why is he a joker?
Because he's a joker.
He jokes around.
Well, you ask too many questions.
Takes too many fights with the cats.
He asked why you're a joker. You want to tell him?
I want to call him chocolate. Oreo.
Relax, man. You want some tea? All right. So, Bab Tib al-Nafs. Hadith number 301. حدثنا إسماعيل بن أبي أويس قال حدثني سليمان بن بلال عن عبد الله بن سليمان بن أبي سلمة الأسلمي أنه سمع معاذ بن عبد الله بن خبيب الجهني يحدث عن أبيه. أبوه عبد الله بن خبيب. عبد الله بن خبيب is a Sahabi. So the father of Mu'adh ibn Abdullah ibn Khubayb, Abdullah, is a Sahabi. So he narrates the hadith from his father, but the father, Abdullah, he a lot of the times he narrates directly from the Prophet. He narrates hadith from the Prophet, but a lot of the times he narrates from his uncle, min ammihi, which is Ubaydullah, who's also Sahabi, obviously. Alright, رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خرج عليهم وعليه أثر غسل. That the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he left out of his house to the people, and he, you know, it was very apparent that he had just taken a bath, that he had just gotten, you know, washed up. So وهو طيب النفس, and he was like real lighthearted, real happy, you know, that day. فظننا أنه ألم بأهله. So alamma here, whenever you say like alamma bi ahlihi, it means, you know, zarahum ziyaratan qasira, ghayra tawila. Is that you alamma bi ahlihi, it means that you visit your family in a small, like you just go there and do like a short visit and you leave. Now obviously they're talking about what? Relations. Like he went and he had relations because he came out and they could see that he had just come out of the ghusl. You know, so alamma bi ahlihi, it means that he went into his family and he, you know, did his marriage thing, and he left. So that's why you see it coming out, and he's happy. All right. So that, you know, alhamdulillah, that shows you that's a good reason. If you want tib al-nafs, get a wife. All right. فَقُلْنَا a wife that doesn't have a sharp tongue, because that will not be good for your tib al-nafs, man.
And she's not Moroccan.
Huh?
And she's not Moroccan.
She could be Moroccan, but she just can't. Why?
No, you told me. You remember? On the phone one day, you told me. You would never marry a Moroccan woman.
I'm just saying, don't do it if you don't. You go there and live there and marry there. But I would like going and getting married online and doing all this other stuff and marrying from families like, you know, that you don't know. No, you go to a country, you marry from the country. Every country's got its good and its bad. You know, but what I was talking about is what a lot of the brothers do. They just go there to get married. No, you're not going to get a good wife like that. You're 9.9 times out of 10.
In Morocco?
Yeah. Because what family would just give you their wife and they don't know you? Their daughter, I'm saying.
Not very righteous family.
Exactly. Family just wants to get rid of her and get some money. So, nah, man. You know, go there, you get with a righteous family, you learn who the families are, you get to know the family, then you know, sit there for like 2-3 years, then you get married. All this going there and doing this tourism and getting married, I don't care where you go, you shouldn't do that. Because you're not, no good family's going to give you their daughter like that and they don't know who you are.
Sounds like Fresno. Sounds like Fresno.
What's that?
Just going around getting married.
Well, no, I mean, they do that in the message here, so yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they get married, divorce, married, divorce.
Hashtag, you know.
Hashtag pass her around. You know, whose turn is next?
First.
خرج عليهم وعليه أثر غصن وهو طيب النفس وظننا أنه لم بأهله فقلنا يا رسول الله. So we said, oh Messenger of Allah, نراك طيب النفس, we see you, you know, you're very happy and lighthearted today. قال أجل, he said, of course, walhamdulillah, and all praise is due to Allah. Huh?
Did you hear that?
What?
I heard a scream from it. I don't know if it was a cat scream or a human scream.
You heard anything? Cats fight all the time. Man, if you look at him, it's like, look, man, it's like when you're on a plane and there's turbulence, and you think that the turbulence is a lot. But what do? You look at the what do you call those women that work on the plane?
Attendants.
The flight attendant. Look at her. She looks scared. You better start being scared. But if she's like, oh, just relax, calm down, so buckle your seatbelts.
Yeah, she's just chilling.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, we go through this like 10 times a day, you know. So the same thing. If you hear something strange, look at him. He lives here. He knows what sounds should be heard and what shouldn't be heard.
They get paid to do that.
You know what I'm saying? Well, they get paid that calm, so you can't really tell. But if you see her scared, you better start doing the shahada. All right. ثم ذكر الغنى, and then wealth and being rich was mentioned to him. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and he's talking about ghina with money. He's not talking about like the hadith where the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, إن الغنى غنى نفس. That the real ghina, that the real wealth and the real richness is the richness of the self. Is that you know, that you khalas, you don't need anything. That you have this type of qana'a, this type of what's the word?
Contentment.
Contentment, and that you don't, you know, you're pleased with what you have. He's not talking about that here. He's talking about actual wealth here. He said, إنه لا بأس بالغنى لمن اتقى. He said, there's no problem, there's no harm for a person to be wealthy, as long as he has taqwa, as long as he takes that wealth and he gets it in halal means, and he disposes of that wealth in halal means. If he's taking it from haram, spending it in haram, or taking it even from halal and spending it on what? Haram, then of course, in this case, it becomes a hujjah alayhi. It becomes something that's against him on the day of judgment. But if the person who takes the wealth and uses it in the things that are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then khalas, there's la bas. There's no harm in that. He said, وَالصِّحَّةُ لِمَنِ اتَّقَى خَيْرٌ مِنَ الْغِنَى. And he said, and health and good health for a person who has taqwa is better for him than being wealthy. Wealthy without health. Because you could be wealthy, but you don't have health, you'll never be able to enjoy it. So having your siha, having your health and being healthy, even if you're not wealthy, is more beneficial and more pleasing for you than to just have money and just be wealthy. And you might not have your health, or you might not be able to enjoy it. And he said, وَطِيبُ النَّفْسِ مِنَ النِّعَمِ. And he said, in this type of طِيبُ النَّفْس, this goodness of the self, this lightness, you know, this lightness that you feel in yourself, this, you know, the lightness of the heart, they say it in English, right? To be lighthearted and happy. This type of happiness is from the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It requires a person. So if it's from the ni'am and you want that blessing to continue, then what should you do?
Be thankful for it.
How are you thankful for it?
Using that certain blessing in the obedience of Allah.
Yeah, so like, you know, say, oh, I feel good today. Man, I'm not going to class today. I'm going to go hang out and drink coffee with the boys, you know?
And go to Creamy Delight.
Yeah, exactly.
Creamy Delight.
And go destroy my طيب النفس, you know?
On Fresno Street, Fresno, California.
So, I mean, no, you take that energy that you're feeling and that طيب النفس and that everything's easy, and you use it in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the way that you protect that blessing, and the way that the blessing continues with you. All right, hadith number 302. حدثنا إبراهيم بن المنذر قال حدثنا معا عن معاوية عن عبد الرحمن بن جبير بن نفير عن أبيه, and of course أبوه جبير بن نفير, عن النواس بن سمعان الأنصاري رضي الله عنه أنه سأل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن البر والإثم. And this is the same hadith that we've taken, but was with a slight modification. We'll see if anybody notices. والإثم فقال البر حسن الخلق والإثم ما حك في نفسك وكرهت أن يطلع عليه الناس. Hadith sahih. What's the difference between this hadith and the one that we took previously? Don't you look, cheaters. What's the difference between this hadith and the one that we took previously in the last class?
The word alayhi? Was it
No,
alayhi?
no. Here he said hakka, and the other one he said haka. And we talked about the difference between the two meanings. Hakka shay, you say hakka shay fi sadrihi, either what? يعني طلع في خلده أو طرق بباله. It just keeps coming up in his chest. He can't. Every time that he wants to forget it, it pops back up and he remembers. Like, you know, and this is what a sin does. Like, you know, it just keeps coming back up and coming back up, and you keep feeling regret. And you know, feeling shame, and it just keeps popping up in your chest. Like you can't let it go. So if you're not unsure if something was a sin or not, then just look how your reaction. Why do you keep remembering it? If you're so comfortable that what you did is correct, then why do you keep thinking about it? Why does it keep popping up in your chest? And that's if you say hakka. If you say haka, and الإثم في الصدر أي وقع فيه or رسخ فيه. رسخ فيه. رسخ, it means what we talked about is what?
It's firm.
Yeah, it's like anchored into your nafs. It just won't leave. You just can't, you can't forget it. You can't let it go. It just sits there, like peanut butter. Yeah. I was joking today. I said I must be allergic to peanut butter, man, because I ate it like in the morning and like 6 hours later, man. Felt like just as full as when I first ate it, man. It's just sitting there. It was like peanut butter with the oatmeal. Like I mixed oatmeal with the peanut butter and just, oh man. Normally oatmeal I'll be hungry with 3 hours, but it was like 6 hours, man. I'm like still like a rock in my stomach. It's like that's no more peanut butter for me, man. All right. So this hadith is authentic. So al-birru husnul khuluq. That righteousness is a good character. وَالْإِثْمُ مَا حَكَّ فِي نَفْسِكَ, and the sin is what, just sits there and bounces around in your chest. فِي نَفْسِكَ, in yourself. وَكَرَهْتَ أَن يَطَّلِعَ عَلَيْهِ النَّاسِ, and you hate that people would see you doing that action, or know that you're doing that action. All right, so that one we already talked about. حدثنا, all right, so 303. حدثنا عمرو ibn عون قال أخبرنا حماد. And for the people that are just learning the Arabic, how do you differentiate between Umar and Amr? For people who are learning Arabic.
The wow.
Huh? Yeah, the waw. Because Umar, it doesn't have a waw at the end. Because Umar is the asl of it is what? Let's see if you know this, mister. Because Umar is mamnu' min as-sarf. So why is it mamnu' min as-sarf?
I said, you said those who are learning Arabic.
No, but now I'm asking you now.
No.
Why? Because Amrun, Ra'aytu Amran, or Marartu bi Amrin. See, Amr, mamnu' min as-sarf. But Umar, you say, Ja'a Umaru, Ra'aytu Umara, wa Marartu bi Umara. So why is it mamnu' min as-sarf? One is the ism alam, and two because of what? Al-alamiyah. When they say al-adl, because the asl of it is amir, and then they took off the alif and just made it Umar. So because of that, that's why it becomes mamnu' min as-sarf. But the asl of it is amirun. So if you say like ja'a amirun, or ra'aytu amiran, or marartu bi amirin, is correct. But when you say Umar now, no. Zufaru, Zuharu, all of these words, they're all mamnu' min as-sarf on that pattern.
Everybody?
Huh?
Everybody?
No, that's tasghir from abd. That's not mamnu' min as-sarf. All right. So anyways, got you.
What about Ukasha?
Huh?
Ukasha.
It's mamnu' min as-sarf. It's mu'annath.
Ukasha?
Yeah, but it's still got ta'neef because it's a ta' marbuta, ta'neef, ta'neef.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Doesn't matter. Hamza, mamnu' min as-sarf. Hamza is definitely not female, but it's feminine love. The word itself is feminine because of the ta' marbuta. But it's for a man. All right. So 303. حدثنا عمرو بن عون قال أخبرنا حماد عن ثابت عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أحسن الناس وأجود الناس وأشجع الناس ولقد فزع أهل المدينة ذات ليلة فانطلق الناس قبل الصوت فاستقبلهم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قد سبق الناس إلى الصوت وهو يقول لن تراعوا لن تراعوا وهو على فرس لأبي طلحة عري ما عليه سرج وفي عنقه سيف فقال لقد وجدته بحرا أو إنه لبحر. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Can you bring me some water, please? See if they want any. And I think these are the tea. How's the tea today?
Tea's good.
Is it Earl Grey?
Is it? Huh? No, that's regular tea.
Oh.
English breakfast tea.
Really?
Why? What do you think?
I thought it was Earl Grey.
No.
I thought at first it was.
No, there's like some of this because you can't get the smell of the Earl Grey tea out of the thermos
Oh,
unless you wash it with like bleach or something. And it's still, I can't do that.
you don't got no bleach?
I'm not gonna put bleach on steel.
Oh, why?
It is
Make it rotten?
oxidation. It's not. You don't put bleach on steel.
Make it all rusty.
Yeah, it starts to break down the metals. You know, if it sits too long. So there might still be some type of taste of it, but it's not. There's no Earl Grey.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe next time the taste will be gone.
It's good.
Hmm.
It's good.
Enough sugar.
Yeah. Can I have some more?
You can drink as much as you want. Up to you. It's between y'all. Huh? I got my green tea, man. Look, my green tea's finished.
That little cap keeps it hot or what?
That
little cap keeps it hot?
What's that?
No, I don't.
What cap you talking about?
Next to your cup.
This keeps the oils inside of the green tea. That's why the Chinese, they drink it with that lid on it.
You put oil in it?
No, there's natural oils in the actual tea. That's why you see, like, in the coffee too, same thing. If you make a French press, you can look at it, you can see the oils on the top of it. But if you cook it in the machine where the water is too hot, you kill those oils. But the oils, they come up through the steam.
So the oil is good for it?
No, it's good.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it keeps the flavor, yeah. So with the green tea, you put that lid on it and to keep the steam in. So that way you don't lose those oils. You don't lose the properties. I don't know those bless. Plus, it looks like a 1970s kung fu movie, don't it?
Wu-Tang?
Yeah. Shaolin versus Wu-Tang or something, huh? All right. So here we got the hadith of Anas radiallahu anhu. He said, Kana Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he's describing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Ahsan an-nas, the best of all people. Wa ajwad an-nas, and the most generous of all people. Wa ashja' an-nas, and the bravest of all people. So look at those three qualities of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Best of people, the most generous of people, and the bravest of people. SubhanAllah. You combine those three qualities into one person, man, SubhanAllah. Because you might see people with some of those qualities, but they're missing others. But it's very rare. And you see that's perfection. You see those three qualities in one person. SubhanAllah. He said, well, laqad fazi'a. Fazi'a means what?
Get scared?
Yeah, to be frightened. لَقَدْ فَزِعَ أَهْلُ الْمَدِينَةِ. So the people of Medina, they became frightened that layla, one night. فَانْطَلَقَ النَّاسِ. And the people, they went out because they heard a sound. And they all went out to go see what the sound is. You see this in villages. If there's any type of sound, especially when there's war going on. Like one time, everything was quiet at the Magi. I remember this was during the war, and it was they had a, what do you call this? Like a no shooting policy, because at all the weddings, obviously the people they have they shoot at the weddings, but because the war was going on, they told the people no shooting. So one night, for some stupid reason, a group of guys, they were on a checkpoint. They were celebrating their friend getting married, and what did they start doing? They started shooting. And everybody just ran out with their guns. Everybody. No, he wasn't even born yet, man. I'm just saying, everybody just ran out with their guns to go find out what it was. You see trucks going by and all this, but then they found out that what?
What did they do with the guys?
Huh?
What did they do with the
They
guys?
yelled at them. Probably called them all types of animals that you see in a farmhouse. Yeah. It's serious because everybody thought they were under attack. They thought that the Houthis were attacking us, akhi. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Everybody ran out. SubhanAllah.
Along with the barnyard.
So you see, so they heard this type of sound at night. They heard something. They didn't know. It was a very loud sound, so they all just ran out, right? They want to go see what the sound is. So they said, فَانْطَلَقَ النَّاسُ قِبَلَ الصَّوْتِ. And then all the people, they left out and they went towards the sound. فَاسْتَقْبَلَهُمْ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So as they're going out towards the sound, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is already what?
There.
No, he's already coming back.
Oh.
He's returning. He was the first one out. He was the first one out. Because he said, أَشْجَعُ النَّاسِ. You know, he's the most bravest of people. And it's to show that the people were just getting to the sound and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was coming back. He said, فَاسْتَقْبَلَهُمْ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ قَدْ سَبَقَ النَّاسِ إِلَى الصَّوْتِ. That he had already beaten the people to the sound. He got there first. وَهُوَ يَقُولُ لَن تَرَاعُوا لَن تَرَاعُوا. And here, لَن تَرَاعُوا, it means like, it comes from the word al-ru'a, which is al-khawf, shadid al-khawf. He's like, basically, لَا تَخَافُوا لَا تَخَافُوا. Like, don't be scared, don't be afraid. You know, don't worry. Don't let your fear continue. Like, just relax. He's like basically telling them it's nothing. It was nothing. How did they translate it in your book?
Do not be alarmed. Do not be alarmed.
Okay, yeah. All right. وهو على فرس لأبي طلحة عريا, and he was on Abu Talha's horse. And Uryan here it means naked, and what he means by naked, it means that the horse was naked, not that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was naked. The horse, it didn't have a saddle. Because he was in such a hurry to find out what the sound was, he just jumped on the horse and took off. And you know how difficult it is to ride a horse that fast without a saddle and was on a place to put your feet? Yeah, that's a strong man. That's a super strong man. You know, that's no joke right there. You know, to ride a horse that fast with a saddle and standing on there, you know, because you have to sit there, you know, just go get in a horse stance and just sit in a horse stance, because that's how you have to stand when you're riding the horse fast, because you can't be on the horse, because what happens? You're not going to be having babies, akhi. Yeah, that's it. You know, your ability to have children is going to probably not be there anymore.
Yeah,
You know.
you gotta like stand on it.
Yeah, and even the women, like the girls, like the young girls who do that a lot, if they sit on the horse too much, they could actually lose their virginity. Like, you know, so this is something that you have to understand. It's very dangerous, because a lot of people, they don't know this. So they might marry a girl who's grew up horse riding, and then think that she's, you know, done something like, oh, she's not a virgin. Well, no, you know, she lost it because of horseback riding. You know, so not that saying that, you know, she didn't lose her actual virginity, like nothing happened to her, but the thing is that that part becomes broken, you know, because of the horseback. So this is something that, you know, people need to focus on. It's very, you know, that's why you get in a horse stance, and that's why they used to train the people to stay in the horse stance for a long time so they could ride on the horse without getting tired. Now imagine doing that, and you have nothing to wear, no place to put your feet, no place to sit.
You're just like straddling.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff, akhi. That's some super strength right there, man. Super strong. So he said, after that, he said, Ma alayhi saraj. The saraj is the saddle and everything, right? So it had nothing. He said, well, fi unuqihi a safe, and he had his sword tied around his neck. So he's on the horse going with no saddle, no nothing, sword draped around his neck. And you know, those swords themselves are not like, you know, these little aluminum swords and stuff that you buy today. Those were pure iron, steel, like, you know,
30 pounds.
Yeah, super heavy swords. And he had that thing around his neck on the horse going. That's some strength right there. And he said, well, في عنقه السيف فقال لقد وجدته بحرا أو إنه لبحر. Here this is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's describing the horse. He said, وجدته بحرا. That I found that the horse flowed like the waves, like it went out, it ran very, very quickly, and he's comparing it to the ocean, and the way that the horse ran and how fast it ran like the ocean, just kept going and going and going, nonstop, you know, and just like how you see like the ocean, it covers the waves, they cover up this vast expanse, like the horse covered that vast expanse and very quickly, just like the waves, huh?
Each kind of soul.
Allah, yeah. Yeah. I didn't find it in any of the explanations what the sound was, but
Is it true that the Prophet ﷺ had never seen seawater?
I don't know.
I mean, that goes right by the Red Sea.
I don't know if
I think, you know, a lot of the ignorant TikTok Muslims, they try to, you know.
I mean, he went up over the earth, okay? So of course he saw seawater. He saw the whole earth. He went up to the Sama' Dunya.
No, because the
Surah wal Mi'raj. I mean, so of course he saw the sea.
No, I'm saying on TikTok, like the ignorance, like, you know,
Donkeys.
you know, in Surah Ar-Rahman, بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان. They say, this is the miracle. The Prophet ﷺ has never been to the ocean, and but yet the scientific miracle in the Quran that the two oceans meet don't mix. They use that.
Allah Alam. I mean, he lived like, what, 30 minutes away from the ocean in a car.
From the Red Sea.
Yeah, the Red Sea's right there at Jeddah, so I don't, you know, has he ever been to the ocean when he was a child, or, you know, Allah Alam, we don't know. He went to different battles in different places, so, you know, who knows. Yeah. But I mean, that's, akhi, the Quran is the miracle. The Quran, everything about the Quran is a miracle. The language of the Quran is a linguistic miracle. Everything about it, they're just looking for all the scientific garbage. Because they're stupid, and they're just like, nah, study the Quran, study the language of the Quran, and look at the Sunnah, and see how everything just ties in together, and it's all preserved, unchanged. Yeah, akhi, all of that's a miracle. I mean, there's nothing, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to learn the language of the Quran. They just want to do what? Let's look at these scientific miracles. Man, come on. Akhi. The Quran was not sent down for people to study science, or not become scientists. It's not what it was sent down for. That was the case, the Sahaba would have been the first scientists on the face of the earth, right? And they knew all this. They knew about the creation of the baby from the Quran. They knew about the splitting of the salt water and the fresh water. They knew about all these things, huh?
The universe expanding too.
Yeah. All of this stuff. They know it. So why did they become the best scientists in the world, or the first scientists? Because they understood that's not what it was about. These are things for you to ponder. So you can look at this creation and see that this is not, that this has to have a creator. There's no way that this could have been by some accident or some big bang, some atomic particles colliding together. You know, come on. Akhi, if you believe that stuff after you see everything and how everything has perfect order, that's just complete foolishness. You know, I told you, I think I mentioned that before. I can't remember the exact story, but one of those people, they came up to Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, and they mentioned this to him. They were arguing with the people, so then they finally made their way to Abu Hanifa, and he told them, he said, a ship, it left from China or from India, and it made its way all the way to the port right here, on its own, without a captain. They said, that's impossible. He said, what you're saying is more impossible. You know, and then that was it. It was like game over. Because he said, how could a ship, you can tell me like we're in the earth. It's already created. You're saying that there's no creator. That all of this happened by accident. But you telling me that a ship can't leave from India and make it here without a captain? Then obviously the earth had to have a creator. Somebody that organized all of this and put it into, and created it and gave it this organization. Yeah. So what you're saying is more impossible than this ship, but you don't believe the ship. But you believe that, so it's foolishness. So they're the dumbest people. That's why I don't agree with people arguing with atheists. Why would you argue with an atheist?
They just want to argue. They just want to disagree.
Exactly. I mean, you argue with somebody, if it comes down to a debate, it's because of what?
It's a dispute.
I mean, that person, though, the only reason why we would sit down and debate somebody if that person became a danger and he needed to be shut down. Atheists are not, if they're a danger for Muslims, then, man, we don't need to be debating with atheists. We need to be teaching the Muslims. That's what we need to be focused on, because if the atheists are having an effect on Muslims, then that's because the education is not there, and the people are not being taught the Quran and the Sunnah, and instead they're just being taught the scientific miracles of the Quran. Yeah, come on, man. That's wasting people's time.
Hey, what is it? Yeah, you want to know how Islam is the truth?
Give me my Bible.
What is it?
Is that, you remember when I told you about someone when they give da'wah, they use the Bible, and then one time he told someone, he said, want me to prove to you how Islam is a true religion? The person said, yeah. He said, bring me my Bible.
Bring me my Bible.
Bring me my Bible. I'm gonna show you how it's
colored sticky notes.
Sticky notes all over it, highlights and everything. So, bring me my Bible. You want to see how Islam is the truth? Let me see the Bible. Let me see the Bible.
Hadith number 304.
That's not the Bible.
This question is going to save. حدثنا قتيبة. Is Qutayba his real name? Qutayba ibn Sa'id. Is that his real name? You forgot already. What? Man, I was sitting here right here. Got the book right there. Looking up. You know what Sheikh Muhammad ibn Adam al-Ethiopi said about him? Because there's ikhtilaf about his name, but I wanted to see what he said. Huh? So there's some of the ulama, they say that Qutayba is not his name, that's a laqab, it's a nickname. That his name is either Yahya bin Sa'id or Ali bin Sa'id. Yahya is like the stronger, but Sheikh Muhammad ibn Adam al-Ethiopi, he just said basically what I just said. You know, they say it's Yahya or Ali, but he didn't say anyone is Arajah. Huh? Yeah. So he said, حدثنا قتيبة here, Ibn Sa'id. حدثنا المنكدر. المنكدر is Ibn Muhammad. What do y'all have? حدثنا منكدر or Ibn al-Munkadir?
Ibn al-Munkadir.
Ibn is a khata. It's a mistake. His name is al-Munkadir. And his name is al-Munkadir ibn Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir. So that's why maybe they made the mistake when they were doing the book. But he's not ibn al-Munkadir. He is al-Munkadir ibn Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir. Munkadir. Alright, so فيه ضعف. But not شديد الضعف, but فيه ضعف. Alright, and abihi, his father, which is Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir. And Jabir رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كل معروف صدقة وإن من المعروف أن تلقى أخاك بوجه طلق وأن تفرغ من دلوك في إناء أخيك. So this hadith له شواهد, and although al-Munkadir is weak, but the hadith itself له شواهد from the other hadith, so the hadith is hasan بشواهده. So here Jabir, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, كل معروف صدقة. All forms of good is charity. Any good that you do for a person is what? Charity. Well, he said, وَإِنَّ مِنَ الْمَعْرُوفِ. And from amongst those good things that you do, أَن تَلْقَ أَخَاكَ بِوَجْهٍ طَلْقٍ. That you meet your brother and you're what? You're smiling. You know, you have a happy face on. You know, you don't meet him with a frown. You know, you don't meet him and you're like, you know, like scrunching your face up. Alright, so أن تلقى أخاك بوجه طلق وأن تفرغ من دلوك في إناء أخيك. What does that mean? What is it? It's a little subtle that you use to get water out of the well. So if you got water out of the well and your brother's thirsty, then what do? You say, no, go get your own water. That's what they would do in America. Hey, go get your own water. You see me, I'm sitting here struggling to get this water out of here. Go get your own water. But what should you do? You pour the water out the well, you see your brother with a cup, what? Take some water. You know, you're gonna make him go get water out of a well just to fill up a cup. You see him with an empty cup? Yeah. So I mean, just be generous with the people. If you have something extra, you know, give it to the people. Let the people, make it easy on the people. Any questions? No, you're not. You're not doing your job tonight.
No, I am. Hamid asked a question when we were talking about the Moroccan women. He said, what about our intention when we go to make hijrah and we also want to marry? So can we do both like the hadith?
Do both. That's talking about a person who's making hijrah for the sole purpose. Like, for example, like let's say that you want to marry a woman. And the woman says, I'll marry you under one condition, but you have to move to my country. So he makes hijrah for the sole intention of what?
To marry.
To marry her for that. So he gets what he got, you know, whatever he intended. But you're going and you're making your intention to make hijrah to a Muslim country. And then while you're there, you're just going to get married. But you're not, you know, your intention is not to just get married. They see the sleeping cat in the, no. Oy. Huh? You don't want to get on YouTube, man.
He's lazy today.
Because we're not giving him goat's milk no more, man. It's got too expensive. So he's got water, he's got cat food. So he doesn't know what to do with his life now.
Where's that said?
Sleep. Lazier than the cat.
The wrong jet.
I think also lazier than the cat. What's up? What's the question?
What is your opinion on the hadith of libas al-shuhra? Like someone wearing a Saudi bish actually the meaning of libas al-shuhra?
The libas al-shahra is wearing things that are uncommon amongst the people to stand out. You're wearing a Saudi bish because it's cold and you're trying to stay warm. Wearing a pink thobe or a purple thobe or something that you're wearing it for the whole purpose of standing out. Like you see these women nowadays they get some Gucci fabric or something and they want to make a jilbab with Gucci designs on it. Actually, this is this type of stuff it's talking about.
I've seen people like a Nike Tech thobe.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
oh
like,
yeah, yeah. I've seen it in person.
I mean, you see it. I mean, each year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Each year, if you go, all you got to do is just scroll through Facebook or any of these social media platforms, and during Eid, right before Eid, and you'll see, oh, we're gonna have a competition about who can wear the best thing tomorrow. Come on, where is this from the Sunnah? Let's have a competition about the people who practice the Sunnah. Wear a white thobe, wear a nice thobe, be clean, be nice. You know, but do all this type of stuff to stand out, and then dude comes out with a pink thobe or a purple thobe, and everybody's trying to wear a different color, that nobody else has, or a thobe that that's the libas al-shahra. That should be avoided, 100%.
MA says, how can one get better at advising and not shaming?
Try to advise the people the way that you want them to advise you. And I guess if you're the type of person that likes to be shamed, then, but obviously that's not the way that we want. We wouldn't accept advice if people came up to us and just yelled at us and screamed at us and spoke to us. And, so whenever you're thinking about the way that you're going to advise the people, just think about the way that you would want to be advised if somebody spoke to you. Because we can always look at it. You got examples in every community. Every community has that one brother that just knows how to advise people. He just has got this gift that Allah has given him. See how he does it and learn from him, Because he knows. And you see people, he'll go up to somebody and say the exact same thing that you'll say. The people that accept it from him and get mad and want to start a fight with you. Right? It's the manner that he says it, the way that he does it, So if you can't do that and you're going to cause more fitna, then it's better to not advise. Some brothers will lie. They should never be allowed to give advice. Some people, they should just never be allowed to give advice. Because every time they open their mouth to advise somebody, what?
Problems.
Yeah, they chase people right out their religion. And we've seen quite a few brothers like this. I saw one brother like this, and I'm not going to mention his name, and this is in Yemen. But he ended up leaving the religion himself. He was so shadid in the way that he did things that he ended up, alhamdulillah. No, he came back. And he, alhamdulillah, Allah bless him to go. When they fought against the Houthis and everything when he made Tawbah. But I'm just saying, it happened. He left Islam. Admittedly. This wasn't like, what we heard. No, he admitted that, he left.
Why did he leave?
Who knows? But I'm just saying, the point is he just went back to his country and started drinking and then just got messed up. But this is what happens, So if you're not going to be that person that can advise people politely, gently, and in a way that they're going to accept it, just keep your mouth shut. Because you're not causing more damage and more harm than good,
Questioner.
And it's not permissible for you to go find another brother to advise him. Because why?
You know it's you.
Well, no, it's not that, but because you'd be sitting there spreading his sins.
Oh, yeah.
So, if that's the case, you can't advise him properly, then it's better just to stay quiet. But you can't go up and tell somebody else, yeah, man, I saw him doing this and he was doing this, because now you're spreading his sins. But if it's somebody that knows that he's doing these things, he knows that this is happening, and you know that this brother can advise him in a good manner, then tell him. Go advise the brother. He needs advice, But if he doesn't know the sins, you can't go around just broadcasting his sins like that,
What if you advise someone that has authority over him, that like, if he advises him, he'll listen? But you have to expose what he's doing. Like, for example, he drinks alcohol in his room. But and if you tell his dad, and if his dad advises him, he'll change. But his dad doesn't know he drinks. Would it be permissible?
Well, I mean, that's his dad is a person of authority. He has authority over him. It's like you're telling a person in authority. That's different. Because he can actually change it by his hands. So... But I mean, just going out and just finding some random dude in the masjid, hey man, you're good at giving advice. Check this out. he's got a girlfriend, you know. You know? And then why don't you go give him advice, you know? No, that's not, no.
I know, brother. One time we just finished praying Isha together. We went somewhere. He opened his trunk and I see a bottle of wine. I'm like, yeah,
gosh,
come
no
on.
way.
He said, okay, this was before I accepted Islam. I forgot it was.
I don't know, man. A lot of Muslims love to drink in Fresno. I don't know, actually. Because a lot of Muslims sell alcohol in Fresno, so I don't know.
I'm like, yeah, what's this?
What's the next question?
Question it says, is it permissible for a man to enter upon his wife if she saw her purity from her cycle, but before she made ghusl?
No. She's gotta purify herself. That's in Surah Al-Baqarah. And that's a part of the tatahhar, you know, until she's pure. She does not pure just because the cycle finishes. She's pure when she takes the ghusl. That's how they يطهرن, yeah.
A brother named Abdullah says, Islamic schools seem to be a good place to work since you can pray without any issue, especially Jum'ah prayer. But some of these schools may not follow the manhaj of the Salaf.
Some of them, most of them,
and or
not all of them. But go ahead.
And or they host popular Muslim speakers that are warned against my deen. Would it still be okay to work in these schools as a Salafi?
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's on a case-by-case basis, man. Because you got a lot of these schools, man, they're just run by these Juhal Muslims. I mean, they're not really attached to any type of anything. Yeah, they're just Muslim. We're just Muslim. You know, and then you got schools that are like run by people with an agenda. You know, but the thing about it is even with those people, those type of wishy-washy Muslims, if you're working for them and you're teaching that, yeah, and you're trying to teach the truth and you're teaching the Quran and the Sunnah, it's not going to be long before you don't have a job anyways. You understand? So, I mean, again, that's why we need our own schools, we need our own masjids, we need our own communities. Because we can't, you know, it's just the reality. Those people like that, the wishy-washy Muslims, that don't really have an attachment to any type of firqa, you know, they're not attached to any type of group. Just anything that sounds good to them, they take it. So you can't really put your finger on them. They're Sufis or they're Ikhwanis, they're whatever. They're just whatever sounds good to them. So when you start telling them, you know, that free mixing is haram, and you start, you know, teaching them about certain things about the Sunnah and things that they should be practicing, they're going to get rid of you anyways. You know, they're not. So it's better to avoid that, is not to be, you know, not to be in those types of communities. Aslan, you know, if you don't have that, then whatever, man, go get a job in construction or something. You know, you don't have to worry about women. You don't have to worry about none of that stuff. You know,
Welding.
Or welding, construction, masonry, mechanics, laying,
Blacksmith.
or become a blacksmith and then nobody can sit with you.
Yeah. Get a Pakistani.
You know, I've started to see there's women are working on the job sites in construction.
Oh yeah, that's becoming.
Yeah,
Those are not women.
Well, I know, but
I don't even think they identify as women.
yeah,
Those are minority. That's
they
like
live over here.
Yeah, I've never seen. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen women in the past that do that, but those women they're not something that you
I
feel
seen
like.
it like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Job site. and she was the boss of all the guys doing the work.
She's the one that's gonna be like out drinking the dudes and all that. No.
She's probably just the boss's wife.
I saw one woman like that in the 90s, man, and she had I don't know what she was, but she had like a Mexican. Her boyfriend was Mexican, and she used to beat him up all the time, all the time. They used to drink and she just used to beat him up. But I don't know what she was, because her daughter was Puerto Rican. I don't know what she was. But that's not a woman that you would ever think about marrying.
No.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't even look at her like she's a woman.
No. What's
But
that
that's
about?
rare though, man. That's
Yeah, and I only seen it. There's only been twice.
yeah.
That's it.
You don't have to hang out with her.
No.
She's gonna be doing something else. She might be on at the schools. They be hanging out. Pinky jabbies, man.
The Converse.
The
Converse.
with the Converse or the Vans. Vans or Converse.
And jeans.
Yes.
Learn Arabic and authentic Islamic knowledge says.
Oh, I thought that was the question. Go ahead.
Ustad, can we sometimes read storybooks such as novels while taking care of our salah and other duties? These novels may contain anti-Islamic elements.
You talking about in English or in Arabic?
It doesn't say, but anti-Islamic elements such as magic, like in Harry Potter.
All that stuff, man. Like, stay away from it. And I'm the worst person to give this advice, but I will tell you because I know. Stay away from it. I'm not gonna give the specifics, but I remember. You remember this, right? You want me to tell the story? I won't say who it was, but I'm just saying, just tell the story. So, one time we were going back and forth with a jinn. Person had a jinn, and the jinn kept saying, your problem is you let all these books, these magic books, you let all these magic books into the house. Saying that the reason why the jinn is doing what it's doing is because the man of the house, the jinn is speaking to the man. It's saying your problem is you let all these books of magic in the house. So I said, what is this book? What are you talking about, books of magic? Because the brother is practicing brother. So he's talking about books of magic. So we went to the living room and we looked at, there's a big stack of books that the jinn had thrown into a pile and poured water on them. And amongst those books was Stephen King and all this type of stuff. And they said, that's the books that the jinn is talking about. You allowed that stuff into the house, which left the people vulnerable to all types of magic. So Allah knows best, man. Allah knows best. Like, it's better, I remember from that day on, I would never let those books into this house. Like, no, there's no Stephen King here. None of that stuff.
So leaving just the book.
Oh, I know.
No, I mean, having those books, reading, that's just having the book in the possession. What about you reading it? Learning it, looking at it. You're being entertained by it. Because, see, the thing is they got this whole thing about the whole critical thinking. Well, when you're doing things for entertainment, you're shutting down your active mind. And you're really doing things passively. That's why you notice, like, when you're reading a book, like here, you're reading a book about explanation of a hadith, you're reading a book about usul al-fiqh. If you have a mind lapse for like a minute, you have to go back and reread the whole page, akhi. But if you have a mind lapse when you're reading like Stephen King, I don't know Harry Potter because I don't know these new stories. I stopped reading with like Stephen King. All right, so when you have a mind lapse with something like that, but your mind is still picking up all the information. You could sit there and like basically read 50, 60 pages on autopilot. And that's why you can sit down and take a Stephen King book or any of these novels, like whatever. I don't know these new.
Captain Underpants.
Huh?
Captain Underpants.
Who?
It's a children's book. It's called Captain Underpants.
I don't know. I'm looking and my son has no idea what you're talking about.
I never read it though.
Well, I'm saying, like, all these types of entertainment stories, you can sit there and easily read 100 plus pages in a day. I challenge you to do that in tafsir. Or do that in books of usul al-fiqh. Yeah, you can. I mean, within 20 pages to 20, 30 pages, your mind is going to explode. You have to take a break.
Yeah.
You understand? You can research for hours. Like, I can get into books and do research and look for a hadith. But to sit down and, like, take adwal bayan.
Oh, no.
If I hit, like, 20 pages, it's too much, man. My mind is like, khalas. It's like, I can feel it pulsating. I got to put the book down.
I started reading Ibn Kathir, and I was like, "Oh man, I gotta do like one section at a time,"
Yeah, you just read little by little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't read like that.
Yeah.
Because that way, because your active mind has to be working on full throttle the whole time that you're reading.
Yeah.
But not when you're doing these entertainment books. Not when you're reading for entertainment. You can shut that down. That whole active part of your brain, shut down. Open up the subconscious mind, and all that stuff goes in. So that's dangerous. That's more dangerous, Akhi. That's way more dangerous than just having the books in the house. You're taking the information in. You're not doing inkar on it. You're not sitting there like, A'udhu billah, A'udhu billah. You be sitting there doing it through the whole book, right? How are you going to do inkar on the munkar and you bought the book and read it? You know?
Reading the Bible.
Sticky notes all over. You
But
want to
see,
know?
and that was the thing. Like, I would read those writers, right? Charles Dickens and all this type of stuff. Why? Because of the style of writing. I just want to study his style of writing. I don't even concern myself with the story. But still, it's a danger. It's a danger. It's very dangerous. If you want to read things, like read things that are like, you know, read like non-fiction type stuff. You know, things.
ABCs.
No, I'm saying if you're gonna read in English, read something about history. Read something about, you know,
read a book.
something that like might have actually happened.
How to have a better diet.
So, yeah, maybe.
What about the Atomic Habits?
I mean, the worst people of all are the people that read science fiction.
Yeah.
People that read science fiction, they're like, and they're like the people that watch anime. If you watch anime and you grew up on anime, it's over for you, dude.
Yeah, you're gay.
It's over for you.
Anime.
Yeah, forget it. Forget it, man. I mean, like I say, you can make Toba from it and leave it, and you can go and become a student of knowledge, but you're not gonna become a Bukhari if you grew up on anime. What?
I think it's over for us.
Yeah.
It was us.
Game
Not
over.
them.
Huh?
Me and Idris.
I always.
الجماعة مشهد سبيس
Yeah, I never read it.
من السعودية
Well, I've never read it.
الرياض
I've never
I'm so
read it.
barely basic.
يعني من الجماعة مشهد سبيس من الرياض يعني بالسنين 4 سنين أو شيء ولسه نفس الأغاني يجي في الآخر.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with all that. The TV shows. I mean, I knew brothers in the match just sit there and quote lines from TV shows that he saw when he was a child. Still, word for word. Still can remember the songs, the name, the lyrics to the songs.
Young boy.
That stuff sticks in your head, man. It's evil.
Boy.
And you talk about witchcraft. You talking about witchcraft? Boy, anime's got that worse than anything else. The lights and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
What about Islamic history? Like learning about the Umayyads and the.
That's what I'm saying.
Abbasids?
Read all that.
Okay.
What about assassins?
I mean, you live in America. I wouldn't say don't read American history. Read it. Read the history of your country too, because you're going to give dawah to the people. You need to know
Yeah.
the history, because that's still the people. They think that that doesn't affect things. It does affect things. It affects things. You giving dawah in the South is not the same as giving dawah in the North or giving dawah in the West Coast. The country is broken up. You know, those wars, and there's going to be more wars. I mean, it's not over. You know, as you can see.
People in Fresno are so different from people in Nashville.
Well, the people that came out to California, they came out for money.
People in Adab.
They came out for money because that was the gold rush, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then also they had like a lot of farms. They were having drought, so they came out here to, you know, to make a better life for them. So they came out here for like just money.
1949.
Huh?
1949.
1949
That's
is
when that
that?
happened, isn't it?
What is that?
1849.
Gold rush.
No, the gold rush is 18.
I thought because the 49 was that's why.
No, it's
Where's everyone at?
1849.
Oh.
Imagine you pop up.
1949 was after World
Where did
War
everyone
II.
go?
1949, Los Angeles, San Francisco, all this stuff was here.
You remember how you were talking about in Al Bayan Shaqiqi, like 60 pages on one mas'ala. Wait till you get to Surah Al-Ahzab.
How did you get to Surah Al-Ahzab anyway?
No, because
Oh, you're not reading it. You're just reading it.
I actually began about it. There was a certain ayah in Surah Al-Ahzab I wanted to read, so I'm just
No, he does that throughout every major masala.
wait till you get
No,
to
I mean,
Surah
no,
Al-Ahzab.
he does it through every masala. I'm saying that was just one masala. And he did it again, and then he did it again. So he did it like most of the first volume is like 3 different masala.
What? Talaq and
Oh yeah, you'll read it, you'll see.
Talaq, Hajj, and Som. Talaq, Hajj, and Som.
Nah, the other one, I can't remember. I didn't finish the masala. I gotta finish it. So the third one, I'm on it now. So, and I'm only halfway through the first volume. So the first volume is like 700 pages. I'm like, well, not halfway, but close to halfway. Oh my God, I heard a sound.
No pun intended. Hamid says, If you say someone got a girlfriend, isn't them calling them a zani?
No, you can't call him a zani.
Abdul Malik is in the chat.
Yeah, because you calling him a zani without evidence, without the shahada, you have to have witnesses for that. And the witnesses have to witness him doing the action with her and not under the covers. You understand? So you cannot go on to make that type of statement to a person. Now,
Those witnesses have to be trustworthy as well.
yeah.
No women.
Yeah, no women. Abdul Malik says, "Is the blood of a man halal?"
Is the blood of a man halal? I think he's got a second part of the question. According to feminists, yes. According to feminists, the blood of all the men is halal.
But when the war happens, they're gonna be running to the men.
Protect us, protect us.
Yo, man, they will be washing those dishes fast as you count 1, 2, 3.
Check.
their roles.
Check another question until he finishes his.
He says, "Is the blood of a man halal if he takes your wife to his home behind closed doors and refuse to let the man see his own wife? When the father say no to a man to marry his daughter, they go behind his back and do a fake marriage, and he enters your daughter, then gets rid of her after a week or two. Is his blood halal?"
And that's up to the hakim. I mean, if he's done that, then normally, like the Islamic ruler, it's up to him on what he wants to punish that person with. But but more normally he's gonna have him whipped nicely, for doing stuff like that, But as far as the marriage and going behind the wali, marrying without the permission of the wali, it depends again on what his understanding of it. If he grows up in a society where that's known, that's not accepted based on the hadith, la nikah illa bil wali, and he's not in a state of he's not in a country where there's Hanafis, where the Hanafis are ruling, then there's a good chance that he could get taken out, he could lose the top part of his body.
Would it be halal for the Muslim ruler to kill him, according to the ayah in Surah Al-Ma'idah, إِنَّمَا جَزَاءُ الَّذِينَ?
I mean, that's for the person, yeah. I mean, but that's up to him. But the ulama, they differ about as far as the punishment. But they say the most extreme punishment is if the person that actually kills somebody. But again, it goes back to the ruler.
Who had more knowledge when it came to the Arabic language? Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah or Imam Shanqiti?
It's a joke, akhi. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he got into a back and forth with Abu Hayyan. Abu Hayyan is an imam in the Arabic language. And Abu Hayyan, when Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah came into Egypt, Abu Hayyan was accepting, he made a poem, he wrote a poem praising him. And then he got into an argument with Abu Hayyan, and he said there's like 70 issues that Sibawayh made a mistake in, that Sibawayh didn't know them, and you don't know them either. And boy, Abu Hayyan made the opposite. When Shaykh al-Islam was leaving, he made a poem, he wrote a poem insulting Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah because he couldn't argue back with him. Couldn't argue with him in the language. So there's no doubt Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah was way stronger in the Arabic language than Shanqiti. Shanqiti benefited from Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Period. That's where he, when he came to Saudi Arabia, there were different books that he sat down with Sheikh bin Baz, rahimahullah, and they told him, they said, this is the Mamlaka, and this is the madhab that we, because they followed the Hanbali madhab. So he wanted to, because he's going to be teaching in the universities, just to show you how this man was, Allah yarhamu, is that he sat down and he took Al-Mughni. Now you see Al-Mughni, it's on the second shelf. You see it takes up the whole second shelf, right? Yeah, it's like 13 volumes. How many volumes is that? 13 or 15? Tab.
Oh, look who it is.
15.
15. So that's 15 volumes. So he sat down and he read all of Al-Mughni just to do what?
The cow was going to bite and it like,
So what did he read Al-Mughni for?
to teach.
No, so he can understand the opinions that they took as Hanbalis. Because that is the king of the book of the Hanbalis. That's That's their go-to book, Al-Mughni. And then he sat down and he read through the Majmu' Fatawa Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. So he sat down and he read these books before he started teaching, just to get an idea, like, okay, and that was really what pushed him forward, was reading the Majmu' Fatawa. So these are the books that he benefited from. So he benefited from Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. There's no way he could be stronger than him. Yeah.
Is the blood of a man halal?
Wait, you want to wake up Oreo? Or
No.
want Oreo?
No, let him sleep. If not, we're gonna have a fight in the living room.
I'm surprised they didn't realize the chewing.
Hey, you let him.
You see his ears perk up.
He's waking up. He's listening.
Hey, who's up there? Who
Go ahead, go ahead. What's the next question? Yep.
Oh, I hear a noise.
We gotta see this. I want to record. I can't record.
Go. Let her eat, man. Let her eat. Put this
What is that, a giant,
giant massage. He's not gonna fight her, man. He's scared of her.
Why? Oh,
Cause she snaps back. Like, she doesn't play with him. Like, the other cats will play with him, but she will not. She will. Go ahead. What's the next question, man?
Oh.
There's no questions. We're gonna give more.
No, someone says like I think when it comes to like reading other books, he says, would this count as well for books on other people's ideologies, like their religion and their books?
First off, you get firm and thabit in what you're supposed to know as a Muslim. You know, no Muslim in the beginning should be reading about other people's ideology. You should be reading about your own first, your own methodology, your own understanding of the deen. That's what you should be concerned with right now. You know, all of your time should be learning what you should know, the tawheed that you should know, the aqidah that you're supposed to have, and the beliefs and the understanding of the sunnah that you're supposed to have. You know, and then later on, when you have to refute different groups or whatever, and once you get well grounded in knowledge, because that's the whole thing. You know, وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ. You want to be from the رَاسِخِينَ فِي الْعِلْمِ. You don't want to be from these wishy-washy type dudes. A lot of people, they spend all their time reading all these conspiracy theories and all this type of stuff, but then when you ask them about the deen, they know nothing. They know nothing. You know, they spend all their time talking about things that, and I'm just as guilty as this is everybody. You give me a book on, the conspiratorial view of history, I read that in 3 days. I knock that book out in 3 days. But I read it with a mind that says, well, so what? What am I going to benefit from this? It was entertainment. You understand? Because in reality, what can you do? The only thing that you can do to fight against all this stuff is to go back and become firm in your deen. That's the only thing that you can do, because you're fighting against Iblis, akhi. You're not fighting against these. Who are these people? These people are nobody, akhi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gave them what they gave them, and he's going to take it away from them. And when he takes it away from them, wallahi, they're going to wish they never had it. You understand? So they're not a danger to us. But you need to focus on your deen, what you need to know as a Muslim. And don't be concerned about the ideologies or the mistakes in the Bible or the conspiratorial history or, is Donald Trump's working for the Illuminati, the Committee of 300 and all this type of stuff. Come on, man. That's stuff that you can't change. Why would you waste your time trying to learn about things that you can't change?
You ever heard the conspiracy that the world is ran by reptilian humanoids?
They're talking about jinn, though. Because amongst the people of witchcraft is that they have relations with the jinn, and then they're trying to get like children that have that mixed DNA between jinn and humans. That's what they're really talking about.
Mixed DNA?
Wait, what?
What do you mean mixed DNA?
Because jinns, they can take on physical forms.
Oh, okay.
And jinn can become pregnant from human.
Really?
Yeah.
So then, what's the kid?
She's half.
I don't know. Actually, I've never done this before. I'm just telling you what the people that work in witchcraft that's what they're talking about.
Is that factual? Or?
Yeah, it's called a moon child or whatever they call it. That's what they've been trying to do. That.
What is it like?
They've made movies about it. The Omen, Damien, all this type of stuff. There's the Antichrist baby. So this is what they've been trying to do for a long
So
time.
the kid's half human, half jinn?
I don't know what. This is what they think. This is what they're trying to do.
Is there any Islamic?
So when they talk about lizard people, they're talking about the jinn controlling the people or being a mixture between the two. Allah knows best.
Is there any Islamic standpoint?
But it does sound crazy when you listen to it, right? Huh?
Is there any Islamic standpoint regarding this?
I don't know, man. Somebody wrote a risala about that. I didn't read it, so I don't know. I'm not. That's not my expertise, so I'm not commenting. I can only tell you this is what they're trying to do. You hear her?
Girl, she sounds like a crocodile.
She is a grumpy old woman.
Tell my mom's cat.
Yeah, you hear that? She's like
That's
a,
why
she's like a Camaro.
I take the hose and spray her because she's a grumpy old woman. She does it with every cat that gets near her. She just growls. All right, what's the next question? What are you saying, though?
That's how my mom's cat is. It's my cat.
Grumpy old woman.
Yeah.
Brother Hassam, he says, is taking a job of free mixing because he doesn't want.
Man, throw her out.
Yeah, I think do not throw her away.
Nah, don't do it like that, Safe. Throw it.
Oh, there goes William.
Go. What's the question?
He's taking a job of free mixing. He just says he's taking the job of free mixing because he doesn't want to depend on his father's haram income and necessity.
Go to school and study mechanics. Study construction or something. Go do something like that. I mean, like I said, that's the only jobs I can think of in America that you'll be away from free mixing. I don't know of any jobs that you're going to be in with women in the office and.
Caltrans.
Huh?
Oh, that's California.
But I've never seen a woman in a Caltrans shirt. Just none of that.
Yeah, but they'll be working in the offices. Same thing with construction, but you never really go into the office in construction. If you got to go into the office, it's a bad day for you. Because you're out on the job site, you know.
But Caltrans, they give you the option to work at home.
Nah, probably not anymore. Go ahead.
Right. Abu, I think.
They said all the government workers now they gotta get on this, get a work, man. So they gotta actually be at work now.
Abu Layla Figueroa says, do you know any students of knowledge who are Hispanic or teaching Spanish?
Oh, they don't teach. I mean, I met two brothers there from Mexico. They were in Surrey, but I don't know them. They're not teaching now. And I heard bad news about one of those brothers. I'm not sure. I mean, the person, the source was very reliable. So if that's true about him, he ain't gonna be teaching nothing right now.
What happened?
I'm not gonna say nothing. Well, I don't know what happened. I'm just saying that there's bad news about him. The other brother, he's in Surrey. I don't know him to be teaching anything. I'm pretty sure, you know, if these brothers exist somewhere where there's actually brothers teaching in Spanish. It should be. Definitely should be. Because, I met quite a few brothers. I've never seen, let me see. I've only seen Mexican brothers. But these brothers, I knew them from Los Angeles. I've never, Puerto Rican brothers? I met one Puerto Rican brother in Philadelphia. So, yeah. But that was like 1999, 2000 or something like that. So, yeah. Okay. You guys have to do it.
I don't speak Spanish.
Learn it.
Working with where I work at, I'm learning Spanish very fast.
You don't speak Spanish either.
I'm
Un poquito solamente.
All I understand poquito. I don't know. So little.
I can say, buenos dias.
I say you can say that. I think.
One time I was thinking about nachos and you know in Spanish to say good night is buenos noches. So I told Thomas that. And I was thinking of
You
nachos.
said buenos
I
nachos.
said buenos nachos and he looked so. I said it in a thobe and I was wearing a thobe and he thought I was making fun of him.
Buenos nachos.
When we visited Kerwin the other night.
Oh my god.
And I told the guy, buenos nachos.
Didn't you just say you're learning Spanish really fast?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, that was like 2 months ago maybe.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, Mexican guy. Oh.
Cool. Last one. I don't think we're not going to even get to the hadith in this anyways.
Alright.
Very important issue. We might have to take Bulugh Maram tomorrow also. 'Cause today we're just going to, there's no other questions? Because today we're just going to take the Bab al-Khulu'. Alright. Al-Khulu' is in Arabic, is the lamb has a sukoon on it. So, al-Khulu'.
What do we take?
Bab.
Different chapter?
Yeah, Bab al-Khulu'.
What's that translates to? Because this is just. It doesn't say the chapters in.
The chapter is when the woman she asked to be set free from the man. Because the woman, she's not allowed to. There's no divorce. The divorce is not in the hands of the woman.
Separating wife for compensation?
No, it's not separating. See, this is the problem with how they translate this. Nobody's separating them. She herself. All right. First off, it comes from the word what? Khala'a. What does khala'a mean?
So you get separated?
No, khala'at thawbuk. You say khala'at thawbi, and I took off my garment off. Khala'a means to take off a garment, because hunna libasun lakum wa antum libasun lahun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they're like libas. Hunna what? Libasun lakum. And what does this mean, libasun lakum?
Yeah, a garment for you.
What does it mean though? She's not clothing. She's not physical clothing, right? But what did the Arabs use this word libas? It means what do they use it to mean? Now, according to Abdullah ibn Abbas, from Mujahid, wa Qatada, wa ghayrahum, Sa'id ibn Jubair also said the same thing. Libasun lakum, it means sakanun lakum. Like they're like second lakum. Like when you go to the woman, you feel like this sakina, you feel this comfort, and you feel this. You just feel good, man. If you have a good wife, if you have a bad wife, you feel like you just entered into the hellfire. But it's like, but yeah, if you have a good wife who's very nurturing, she has that good feminine quality about her, that good motherliness about her, then she has this nurturing. So when you go to her, you feel this, like this comfort, right? Because you're on the dunya, you got to deal with all this garbage, and what you want to do is you want to go home and do what? Relax. You don't want a drama in your house because she's been sitting there watching Oprah or something like this, or reading romance novels about everybody cheating on everybody and thinking you're trying to do this. So, and by the way, and that's for the females, the women that read romance novels, my personal how can I say this, experience with them is their marriages don't last long. They do not last long. There's women like that because they love drama. They expect it to happen because they want to be that character in that book that they keep reading. Those women do not have marriages that last. If you find out a woman reads romance novels, do not marry her. Let the next guy have her. I don't care how beautiful she is or how much lies she tells you, boy, it's going to come out sooner or later. But he said what? Hunna libasun lakum, antum libasun lahunna. And you also second for her. She feels comfortable with you. She's like, when a woman's amongst other people, because you're like an ajnabi, right? Originally, then you get married. So the woman, she's shy. She covers herself. She protects herself. She doesn't want. But when she goes to you, what?
She's more relaxed.
Yeah, more relaxed with you because she's around you like she's not even with her own family. You understand? So she feels more comfort with you and comfortable doing things with you than she doesn't feel doing around her own family. So when the woman wants to be free from this man for whatever reason, she can't give the man his rights, or she just because maybe she despises him, or maybe he's just really, really treating her bad. And this is the khula, that she can basically buy her freedom. She can buy her freedom. It's not separation, because a judge does not even need to be involved in all this. But this translation is why this is again why we have to go over this issue. Because the people think that a woman can just go complain to an imam or some brother in the community, I'll give you a khula. Who are you, akhi? Who are you? Wallahi, fear Allah. Fear Allah. And first off, that's in the yid of the sultan, not the yid of some pot smoking, weed smoking, music listening to joker in the community. No, that's for the people of knowledge. It's not for a person who doesn't even know Surah Al-Fatiha, can't even recite it properly, and doesn't understand it properly. How is that person now going to understand the ahkam and sit here and talk about, I'll give you a khula? And wallahi, I've heard these stories so many times, akhi. Wallahi, it's sickening. And that's why when I talked to Sajid on the phone, this was the time when they were fixing the bathroom, I said, because there was an issue that happened in Jacksonville. And that's what I told him. I said, wallahi, because I got really angry. I was driving from back to Kerman to go back to the hotel because they were working on the bathroom. And I'm yelling in the phone, yelling while I'm driving. You remember that night because you were with me, right? I was talking to Sajid from here all the way to Kerman. And then, and by the time that's what, he's like, man, yeah, I'm waging war on this. This is my war right now. It's to destroy these marriages, like this whole marriage. And you know, that's why the first thing that we chose to teach here, Bulugh al-Maram. And what do we choose to teach from Bulugh al-Maram? Kitab al-Nikah. Because I'm like, y'all keep getting this marriage stuff wrong. We got to get it right. Got to get it right. Because I've gone like all over America, these stories are the same. And these marriages, most of these marriages are not even valid. And then these brothers running around talking about, oh, come over to me, I'll give you a khula. Who are you? Who are you to give a girl a khula? What type of khula is that? And without her husband's permission. Allah destroy these people. Allah destroy these people. Wallahi, they're playing with the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they don't even know what they're doing. Because they have no knowledge. Wallahi, these people don't even know the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha. Don't even understand Surah Al-Fatiha, going to give a khula. A'udhu billah. May Allah destroy them.
Let me see them. I think someone's at your door.
I can hear it.
شكرا يكون في ضباب في مصر يشوف الخارج أو يمكن نفهم يعني أصحاب.
Can't see anything.
The gate's locked, right?
يعني الباب
Open up the door.
Can I see the?
Hmm.
I'll take this. I got it. I don't want
Watch out, make sure it's not gonna fall out.
Like how
Y'all watch out, cause those teeth on the end are very sharp, man.
you really gave it that?
But it's probably just a cat, actually. Huh? I'm serious. Probably the cat running up and bumping on the door. Watch
Oh,
it.
it's the fat cat.
I told you. And she came and ran and tried to see if the door was gonna open.
You know when I actually want to use it.
He just ran out the house with a big machete.
I used to work on Belmont. So.
Nah, I knew. I was like, that's the cat, man. Cause he locked up the gate. You'd have heard somebody jump over the gate, man. You didn't lock the gate?
غلطت بس أنا يعني بوابة هذاك على السيارة وأنا لسه يعني مفتوح يعني إيه واحد نسيته ده عشان كده تشوف الكلاب يعني يجوني يعني.
Where'd you get that? I'll show you.
I think Amazon.
How much was it?
I don't know.
It's pretty cool.
I think you get one like that at Home Depot for like $14.
I like that. Not that brand, man.
Yeah.
Those things, that thing, like especially the teeth on the back of that thing.
Is it legal to carry that in your car?
I don't carry it in the car.
But is it legal to?
I don't know. I carry the shorter one in the car.
I carry a crowbar in the car.
That one, I keep this in the house.
Make sure it says Supreme on it. Supreme crowbar.
That thing would definitely disarm somebody. Hey,
That's
literally.
the one that you didn't like though because it had the teeth.
No, I gave that to my son.
I can say I have a crowbar.
Nah, that one like cut my fingers off,
Yeah,
man.
I remember you saying
It
that.
actually cut because I went to go grab it in the car and it come out of the sheath. And when I put my hand down, my hand went right on that tooth and because this one's got the same type of teeth on it. And it just sliced my finger open, man. So yeah, that one I didn't like it. So I got this other one that has no teeth on the end. That's the one I used to carry to the masjid and keep in the car. Yeah. I got like, how many we got? 4? Where's yours at? Go get your machete.
You want to sell one?
Huh?
You want to sell one?
What you gonna sell one for, man? When I leave, I'll give them to you.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them. Maybe 1 or 2 of them. Can't give you his, though. Alright. So, Bab al-Khula'. Alright, what? We said it means khala', and that's where it comes from.
Take off.
Huh? Yeah, because like the woman, she's just like, she's taking off the marriage. Like she wants to marry. Like just like you take off her clothes, she wants to get rid of the marriage. Alright. So, that's in the language. Alright, shara'an. When we talk about the meaning of it, this is his. He never carried his to the masjid. He just keeps it at home.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, on the stab, not so.
Cat? It's made by Cat?
Yeah.
I think why she attacking my
Whatever happened to that one Safe had that looked like the Ninja Turtle?
Oh, yeah.
It had like a point, like middle point, and then
Size.
What's that?
Come on, size.
Oh, the size.
what's it called?
Size.
Size.
Yeah. Sai. S-A-I.
What are they used for?
Who likes my shoes?
They used them. They're like an old kung fu weapon. Because when the people were fighting against swords, like you can't really go on the defensive with that, but it's a good offensive weapon.
Size.
Because you can catch the sword and twist it and pull it out of the person's hand. All right. So shara'an, the meaning of khul' in the deen here. This is just one of the many definitions. Said هو فداء المرأة نفسها من زوجها بما دفعه إليها مهرا لها ليحصل فسخ النكاح. This, I chose this definition amongst the different definitions that the different people with different ulama gave, because it like هو أشمل يعني يشمل كل شيء في المسألة كل المسألة. Alright, it's like it completely encompasses all the different issues. So shar'an, he said هو فداء المرأة. Fida is what?
Get back.
Yeah, it's like fida is like you give up as to sacrifice something or to give it up. So she's giving back her mahar, because she's given the mahar to make the marriage legal, to make the contract binding. And if she wants out of the contract, then what she has to do is she has to give that money back to the man. And no, somebody cannot just go to an imam and say, I'll give you a khula, and then the man gets nothing back. Again, may Allah destroy these people. Alright, so he said, Fida'ul mar'ati nafsaha min zawjiha. So she does this as a fidya, as a fida. To, like I said, she's buying her freedom, because she's got to buy her way out of that contract. The man gave the money to go into the contract, and she accepted the contract. Now she wants out of this marriage contract, so the only way that she can get out is the same way that he got in. Alright, so he paid to get into the contract, she pays to get out of the contract. So bima dafa'ahu ilayha. So what he gave to her, mahran, from the mahar, liyahsula faskhul nikah. And here he used the word fasq. Alright, which means what?
Nullify?
It becomes null and void. So if the marriage is mafsukh, is khalas qad infasakh, then that means it doesn't count as a divorce. It's not counted as a divorce. It's just khalas, fasakh. It means that khalas, the contract is over. It's void now. And if the man wants to go back and he wants to marry her again, which we'll go over, he has to go and marry her with another contract. She's done. Like once he agrees to the khula, and she gives and she pays whatever he says, and he says khalas, khala'tuki, it's over. It's done. It's like she's an ajnabiyya from that second on. He's not allowed to talk to her. There's no raja'. There's no, oh, I made a mistake, come back to me. No, it's over. If he wants to marry her, he has to go and marry her with a new contract. We'll get to all this now, inshallah. Alright, the khula' was mentioned in the Quran. Yes or no? Think Surah Al-Baqarah. فإن خفتم ألا يقيم حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به. فيما افتدت, the fidya, the fida. This is the fidya. فيما افتدت به. It means that there's no junah, there's no sin. If she feels that she cannot carry out the rights of the husband, so she gives this aftadat bihad al-mal, so she can get her freedom, and then she buys her freedom. All right. So this is the fidya. According to Al-Farra, and he mentioned the different things about this ayah, because he mentioned that فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا, but he was really saying that the junah here is upon, he said, فَذَكَرَهُمَا جَمِيعًا لِإِقْتِرَانِهِمَا, but the meaning is a zawj, دون المرأة. فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِ هُوَ. Alright, لِإِقْتِرَانِهِمَا كَقَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى نَسِيَا هُوتَهُمَا. Nasiya, who is here? Nasiya, two, but who's the one that like Nasiya?
Was it Musa and his servant?
What's his name? Yusha.
Oh, you.
He's the one that forgot it, because, yeah, Musa didn't forget it. All right. So, إنما الناسي فتى موسى وقبل and some of the people say وقيل لا جناح على المرأة في النشوز إذا خشيت الحلاق. All right. So for her to like disobey her husband, that there's no sin upon her to disobey her husband if she fears like that he might do something to her, might something might happen to her. So this is, but here the fidat فيما افتدت به is going back to the khula. All right, it's going back to the khula. So it was mentioned in the Quran, right? All right. Conditions. Shurut. Number 1. Ahliyat al-zawj. All right, what does that mean? Ahliyatuhu.
His family?
No.
His approval?
No. Huh? Well, he has to be mu'ahl. What does that mean? It means that he has to have all the faculties to accept this.
Oh,
If he's crazy and he can't accept it, well, he can't. If his mind's gone, he can't divorce her either. So if he can't divorce her, how is he going to accept the khula? So he has to have the ahliyat zawj. Like he has to be in the proper mind. He has to be sane. He has to, all these conditions have to be met for him. That he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And also even with the knowledge, because a person without knowledge, he does something because somebody tells him, and he finds out with knowledge that, wait, that's not what I understood, and he might have done something wrong. So he has to, all those the ahliyah, the knowledge, the mind being present. الثاني أن يكون الخلق صحيحا. صحيحا. That means that all the in what regards, there can't be any type of oppression in this. Like what these dudes do. Come to me, I'll give you a khulq. If he doesn't give it to you, no. He says, I'll give you the khulq, but you need to pay me this amount of money, and I'll let you go. You can't go behind his back and go, yeah, wallahi, people like that should be killed, wallah. And if the people were doing that inside of a Muslim government, a real Islamic government, that probably would happen. They'd probably be jailed and given the death sentence. Because that type of fasad fil ard, wallahi, akhi, wallahi, is azeem jiddan. Can you imagine that a man would take a man's wife, his wife, and I've heard so many brothers, this has happened to so many brothers, akhi. I'm just like, alhamdulillah, I don't know what I would have done if I was in their position. Seriously, I would not be teaching you today. I would definitely I done kill somebody. But the point is, they take a brother's wife, and they give her a khulq, and give him nothing. He gets nothing. And then take the woman, and then they marry her. And then they marry her.
They marry
Yeah, then they end up marrying her.
Zina.
Zina is the worst of that's probably the least of the sins that they're going to have to answer for. All the oppression involved in this.
Lying about the deed.
Yeah, because the zina is doomed to yourself. But what they're doing is doomed to another brother, to their own brother. Taking his wife, taking his family, akhi, wallahi. That's why I'm telling you, I will not get married in America. Wallahi, this type of chaos goes on, akhi, wallahi, forget it, man. Wallahi, I'll be patient. I'll bite on my knuckles until the day of judgment, akhi, if I have to. But I'm not going to go, This type of stuff is normal in America. Not in every single,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Time. So that's the second condition. The third condition, and يستر من الزوج بصيغة المشروعة. All right, so the man has to agree. It has to be sahih that there's an agreement. There's no need for a judge. They don't need to go to a judge. They don't need to go to imam of a masjid, and they don't need to go to some weed smoking brother in the community. All they need to do is the woman says, I want a khulq. The man says, I give it to you. Give me back the money that I gave you for the mahar, or give me back half, whatever they agree on. They agree on it, that's their business. The only time that you have to go to a judge is when the woman says, I'll give you back the mahar. Just give me a khulq, but the man still refuses. Then the judge, you go to the judge, and the judge can convince him to say, accept the khulq, she'll give you the money, but she has to give the fidat. She doesn't give the fidat, you can't sit there and oppress the brother and just say, I gave her a khulq, and the brother gets nothing. Now you gotta at least, at the very least, if he doesn't, if he refuses to give it to her. And if he refuses to give it to her, then that's his business. That's his wife. She goes to another brother in the community and he gives it to her. May Allah destroy these people. Allah destroy them. Allah, I keep making dua on people like this, wallahi, because they play with the deen of Allah and they cause so much fasad amongst families. So many breakups of the families. And I know so many people probably sitting here watching this right now, probably heard these same types of stories in their communities. And I'm pretty sure that this is not just specific to America. I'm pretty sure this goes on throughout the West, but you're definitely not going to see this in Yemen. You see this in Yemen, I think somebody's getting killed and buried out in the desert. You are going to have dudes showing up to your house with rocket launchers. You go doing something like that with a dude's girl in Yemen. SubhanAllah.
Missing by Mufrad.
Yeah, man. They do this to other people's women. I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala writes that they do. Somebody does it to their sisters or women in their family, just so they can feel what it feels like. Allah destroy them. So he said, ثالث أن يستر من الزوج بصيغة المشروعة. So he has to say it. He has to say some type of wording to show that he accepts it. خلعتك. Okay, خلعتك. Or here another word that he said, وفارقتك على مال الذي رددت إليه. Whatever wording that he has to say, but he cannot use the word what? He doesn't use the word talaq. He has to use a word that's specific for the khula. Because the khula and the talaq are two different things. If he says talaqtuki, khalas, it's talaq. That's a different thing now. And she doesn't have to give him anything. With the talaq, she doesn't give him back anything. Alright, الرابع الرضا والقبول من الزوجين. There has to be acceptance and each side is pleased with this. You can't just take the woman, give her khula, and the man gets nothing. And he's sitting there angry, biting on his knuckles, loading up his gun, thinking about what he's about to do to the brother that just did this to his ex-wife now. So, no, there has to be an agreement between the two, the man and the woman. The man says, this is what I want. You give me this, you can go free. You don't give me this, then no, you can't go free because we have a contract. You understand? So that's that. So it has to be an agreement, and they both have to be pleased with the outcome. Nobody's being oppressed here. All right, al-khamis and yakun al-khulu' ala malin yasihu tamallukuh. All right, there has to be money. It has to be with money that's permissible. So the woman can't go rob a bank and then give the money to the man and say, "Here you go. Here's the money you asked for." She can't steal the money from her father. She can't go out and sell drugs to get the money. It has to be from halal means. All right, it has to be halal. The money has to be halal. Otherwise, the khula is not. The conditions have not been met. All right. If those conditions are met, and the khula happens, then what happens after that? So now we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. We'll talk about these 5 things, and then we'll stop for the day. Then we'll go to the hadiths tomorrow, inshallah. So he said, "Ma yatarattabu ala al-khula." So this is what comes with it, right? This is what comes with the action. So the people understand. Al-awwal tubayyin al-mar'a min zawjiha. It means he takun ba'ina. As soon as the khula happens, what? She's ajnabiyya. Khalas, it's over. You can't call her on the phone. You can't go out with a coffee. You can't do any of that stuff. It's over. It's done. She is like any woman in the street. It's not permissible for you to talk to her anymore. Doesn't matter, she's the mother of my children, and you cannot have conversations. If you need to talk to her about the child, or you need to talk to her, you call her up and you can talk to her about that, but you can't talk to her about nothing else. How's your day? What did you eat for dinner? What did you eat? No, you talk to her about the welfare of the child. That's it. You're not allowed to talk to her about anything else, all this like small talk, because she's not your wife anymore. It's over. As soon as the khula happens, she's an ajnabiyya. Khalas. She doesn't inherit from you. You don't inherit from her. It's over. It's done. All right. So he said, وَتَمَلَّكُ نَفْسِهَا وَتَعْتَدُّ بِحَيْضَةٍ عَلَى الصَّحِيحِ مِنْ أَقْوَالِ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ لِلْإِسْتِبْرَاءِ وَلَا يُعْتَبَرُ الْخُلُقُ طَلَاقًا إِنَّمَا هُوَ فَسْقٌ. So he said here that the woman, she becomes ba'ina. And then she controls the affairs of herself now. That doesn't mean that she becomes like she doesn't need a wali. But what it means is, if the man wants to say, okay, look, I want you back, she could say what? Huh? No, it's gonna be a new mahar, a new contract. But she said, I don't want you back. Go away. That's it. It's over. It's done. You know, or she could say, okay. But then she says that, well, obviously through the wali, that she chooses what they come up with a new mahar, they sign a new contract.
New condition.
Yeah, whatever, new conditions and everything, whatever they want. It's a new marriage. It's a whole new marriage. All right. وَتَعْتَدْ بِحَيْضَةٍ. So this, she does not have the iddah of the woman who's divorced. Her iddah is what? One menstrual cycle, one period. That's it, and it's only the istibra. Istibra, it means to do what?
It's to make sure she has no kids.
Make sure that she is not
Pregnant.
that she's not pregnant. That's it. You see the other with the marriage, because there's what? There's a raja. The man has that period of time where he can think like maybe, well, I want her back, you know. So and they're still living together. Once you get the khula, again, she's batting. You can't live in the same house with her. You can't, you know, that's it. It's over. It's done. She moves out, you move out, whoever moves out, but you cannot live together anymore. It's done. And people, I don't think, understand this. They think it's like, you know, like if you divorce a woman for the first time, yeah, you're still in the house together. You're still there. You're still like salam alaikum, you know, and you could take her back at any moment. You know, she's still considered your wife until, you know, until that period. Once that period finishes, then it's over. Now the contract's finished. Once her iddah is over and you haven't taken her back, then khalas. It's done. What do you want? Oh. Bulugh al-Maram is in his bed. All right. So, and he said after that, he said, istibra wala yu'tabaru khulu' talaqan, and it's not considered divorce, it's considered fasakh. All right. الثاني بذل الزوجة العوض. What does that mean?
Do you read?
You're tired, huh?
No.
You guys are, what time is it?
8 o'clock.
Oh, I can see, I got the clock up there.
That's a moment.
بدل الزوجة العوض. That she has to give what? She has to give a replacement for the mahar that he spent. المتفق عليه بين الزوجين. What they both agreed on. والصحيح أن يكون بالمهر. And then the correct understanding is that she gives back the mahar that he gave. Okay, أو بما دون المهر, or if he agrees, then she can give what? Like, let's say that she only has half. She has half of the money left, and she says, "Look, the mahar that you gave was, let's say, $5,000. All I have is 2,500 or 3,000. Will you accept it?" Now it's up to the man. He accepts it. He could say, "Yeah, khalas, I'll take it. Give it to me. Get out of here, khalas," because maybe he just wants the marriage done anyways, right? But if he says no, you give me the 5,000. I gave you 5,000 for the mahar. I want 5,000. Correct or not? Correct. What if he says I want 6,000? The mahar was 5,000, but he said you pay me back 6,000.
Anything they agree upon. Anything they agree upon.
Yeah, even if he asks for more, if they agree upon it, then she has to give it. She has to. Obviously, can't go up and say I want $3 million, you know, and the mahar was like $5,000. Come on, man, you know. But you know, but he said, "Oh, bima dun al mahar was ziyada," or it could be more than the mahar. Al mahar tajuz ma al khilaf. All right, فقد أنكره الإمام Malik, and Imam Malik did not make inkar on that statement, and the statement that goes back to Imam Malik is actually not authentic, where he made inkar on the statement. In fact, Imam Malik, he didn't make inkar, but he said that the woman, like if the woman was being disrespectful to the man, then he should what? Then he has the right to ask for more. He put it with that condition of the man, if she was treating him badly, she wasn't performing her duties as a wife, and then he could ask for more. He said under that condition, he said it's not from, it's from the, it's not from the makarim al-akhlaq. It's not from the good character that you ask for more. Just get back what you gave. That's what he said. Imam Malik, he said laysa min makarim al-akhlaq. All right, which doesn't mean that he made inkar on it, but a lot of the ulama, they say Imam Malik, he made inkar on it, but no. He said it laysa min makarim al-akhlaq. It's not from good character to ask for more. Just you paid the mahar $5,000, she returns what? $5,000.
What if he says no money? He just khalas.
It's up to him.
Okay.
If he agrees on that, he agrees on it. He could say khalas. She might say I have nothing. Go. You know, because he knows that the marriage is not going to work. Khalas, let it go. You know. So if that's what he wants to do, then khalas. All right. الثالث إن إنهاء العلاقة الزوجية it's over. Once the khuluk goes through, then there's no connection between these two. وتعود إليه بمهر جديد. And if they want to get married, then there's got to be a new mahar وعقد جديد and a new contract. إذا رضيت, if she is pleased with that. All right. So he can't just take her back and say, okay, I want you back. No, it's over. It's done. All right. الرابع لا يلحق المختلعة طلاق, and there's no طلاق in this. All right. لا رجعة على المختلعة أثناء العدة لأنها بائن, and there's no رجعة. You can't take her back during that period of the 1 month. She's gone. It's over. Once you've agreed to the terms and she's given the money back, it's done. It's over. She's an ajnabiyah from that second. It's over. The iddah that she's doing is only istibra. It's not an iddah where you can go back and remarry her. And no, once she does that to make sure that she's not pregnant, then khalas, she go back and she gets married after that. After that waiting period is finished. Allah knows best. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll go over the hadith. Any questions? Heavy stuff tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly why weed smoking dudes that don't know Surah Al-Fatiha shouldn't be getting involved in these types of things. You know?
Yeah. Very much.
If one of the conditions is not fulfilled of the khula, is the khula invalid?
Well, it depends on what's the condition. All of those conditions are the conditions of the validity of the khula.
What if one of them is missing?
No, those are the conditions of it being valid. Those conditions have to be met. That's what I'm saying, is that the people should understand this and the people should be taught this. You know, the man and the woman. If they want to do this, but how are you going to sit down and explain this to the man and the woman, and you yourself, you don't what? You don't even know this stuff. You don't even know how to find this stuff. This ain't stuff that you're going to open up, you know, in English books and just like, there you go.
You don't even know the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha.
Yeah, exactly. I've said that 5 times already, but yeah, exactly. You know, so no, that's the people need to understand this, because otherwise, then what happens? Okay, you oppress the man. All right, the khula itself is not even valid. She goes and waits one menstrual cycle, then she goes gets married to another man, while she still hasn't completely absolved herself of this marriage, and now she's in another marriage. Akhi, this is oppression, akhi.
Wouldn't that account as adultery if it's not fully?
No, because there's a shubha. And the shubha is you can't say that they're committing fornication, because there's a shubha. You know, they trusted an idiot who told them that this is the way to do it, and then they did it. They should never trust idiots. Yeah, and people that speak about this religion without knowledge. You know, because that's one of the kaba'ir. Okay, that's one of the major sins.
So shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if your marriage is valid. Give me my Bible.
You remember? What was it called? Yeah, just like we said, speaking about the deen with no knowledge is shirk, right?
Yeah.
What about speaking about the Quran without knowledge? Giving your own tafsir of the Quran.
Well, that's what we were just, me and the brother, and it's a good thing that you said that, because he asked me this question today, and I asked him. I went and answered the question for him on WhatsApp. There's a brother Muhammad in Britain, and I told him, I said, you know, with your permission, I'm gonna discuss this question on the live stream tonight, and you brought it up, so I didn't have to remember it. But because he was asking me about this, about like people doing the tafsir in English. You know, like going, don't say the names, man. I'll tell you, because they go and they complain and they get this channel messed up. So, and so what he said, he was asking about like a person doing tafsir in the English, like taking the Quran and giving the tafsir, and that, what I was telling him, you know, and my answer to that was, I said, man, we shouldn't be doing that anyways. If you're gonna do something with the Quran, you go and you take a tafsir like Tafsir al-Sa'di, something easy, and you translate it for the people just so they can understand it. But you're not giving tafsir. Tafsir is not in the English language anyways. You don't give tafsir of the Quran in the English language. If a person wants to learn tafsir, he studies Arabic and he studies tafsir the way that all the ulama from before studied it. all the people of the past, all of the people that came into Islam from all these different countries, Russia, and all the Bilad al-Furs that was under the control of the Furs and the control of the Romans before. Their language was not Arabic. They studied the Arabic language. Egypt, their language was not Arabic. You understand? They were controlled by the Romans before Islam. Their language was not Sham. All those areas of Sham, their language was not Arabic. They were controlled by the Romans until the Muslims came and caused the collapse of the Roman Empire, and then the Muslims took over Sham, and they took over North Africa. They took over all these areas. Their language was not Arabic, in all these other countries. So what happened was these people, they went and they came into the religion and they all learned the Arabic language because they knew there was no such thing as a translation of the Quran in all these different languages back in the past. They didn't do this type of thing. They all studied the Arabic language. They learned the Quran. They learned the tafsir of the Quran. They learned the hadith in the language that he spoke in, that the Prophet ﷺ spoke in. And they learned the Quran in the language that it was revealed in, the language that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke it in. That's the speech of Allah. Why would you not want to learn the Arabic language to understand the speech of Allah? That's absurd. So this whole thing about even doing tafsir in English is a complete, it baffles the mind, akhi. Like, how could you even do tafsir? All you can do is translate. The only thing that we can do in the English, I sit here and I translate things for y'all. That's the only thing I can do. I can't sit here and break it down and this is the way, and then even when I'm translating, I have to take what? I have to take the easiest stuff, the things that I can actually translate into the English language. If I'm picking up Adab al-Bayan and he's going off on a tangent about some masala that involves a lot of usul al-fiqh and nahu and all this, I can't translate that to y'all. You just have to learn Arabic, and that's it. I mean, because if you don't know Arabic, what's the benefit? You don't need to know this yet. You need to know the Arabic language. The only thing that we should be teaching the people is tawheed, the correct aqidah, the very basics in fiqh, and then the people should be focusing on the Arabic language. All this translation or like tafsir of the Quran in English, that's a bunch of garbage anyways. There's no such thing as translation of anything in English. Not translation, I mean tafsir, There is translation. But the translation, even ma'akhi wallah, is disrespectful. Because we can sit here and say, well, this is the closest thing that it means in English. But akhi, come on, man. Come on, man. It doesn't mean nothing like that. The English language and the Arabic language is far higher, far superior to the English language. And you putting the Quran into the English language is just doing a disservice to this thing.
That reminds me, I caught something on sunnah.com. It was from one of the hadiths. It was every child is born on the fitra, right? It was that one hadith, and then but on the translation it said every child is born on the true faith, in parentheses, i.e. Islam. Yeah.
The guy.
No,
Yeah,
I think the hadith he's talking about. I think there's another hadith. This is على هذه الملة. Remember the hadith? It was a narration I sent you a while back. It was in the summer.
Yeah, but to say Islam is الاستسلام لله بالتوحيد والانقياد له بالطاعة والبراءة من الشرك وأهله. That's the definition of Islam. The person hasn't done that. So until the person has done that, then he hasn't entered into Islam. He's on the fitrah, where he knows that he has a Lord, a Creator. That, like I told y'all before, I probably told this in the class, or I'm not sure, but I personally remember sitting there playing with my siblings in a sandbox one time, and next to my father's house, and they mentioned God, and they say, yeah, God is up there. That was just the fitrah. That we believe that Allah, and that God is above the heavens, above us all. It was never our fitrah to sit here and think that, God, He's everywhere, He's in everything. Like we're a bunch of Hindus or something like this, or so Allah musta'an. But that was the fitrah. But that wasn't. We can't say I'm a Muslim. And then ما استسلمت لله بالتوحيد وما انقدت له بالطاعة وما برأت من الشرك وأهله. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So no. What's the next question?
Is there a difference between how a man performs salah and how a woman performs salah?
Yeah, I see what you're going to.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, we're just.
No, I don't know of any difference. I don't know of anything specific what a woman has to do. I mean, obviously the covering for the female, that's different. That's the only difference that I know between her and the man. Allah knows what's.
صلوا كما رأيتموني أصلي.
Yeah, that's arm for everybody, the man and the woman. And he got up on the minbar to teach the people the salat, so the women could see it too. So yeah.
When it comes to nikah, what kind of books do you read?
Comes to what?
Nikah.
Read the explanations in the books of hadith. Talking about what when I'm preparing the lessons for Bulugh al-Maram, or what are they talking about? Whatever. I mean, whatever. Every day, a lot of the days, it's always something different. It's always a different book. Sometimes I go back to Sheikh Abdul Hamid's Sharh Bulugh al-Maram. Sometimes I go back to Subul al-Salam, the Sunani. Sometimes the Nail al-Awtar, sometimes the Mughni. Sometimes, I mean, it depends. Depends on what the issue is. And whether or not I find what I'm looking for in one book or I got to keep searching. You see, like right now, al-Mughni, you see the book missing in al-Mughni, right? Go look at the bookshelf. You see the book missing, right? That's Kitab al-Nikah. You look down and you see the green book on the fourth shelf. You see one book missing?
Yes.
Kitab al-Nikah. So, so you see those books and you might see them back the next class. You might see them back there. And then you'll see like Nail al-Awtar missing. Or you might see another book missing. You might see Shafi'i's. Shafi'i's book was actually missing the other day, but I put it back. From Al-But,
If the khula is complete, does the woman go back to her family?
She said, that's it. She said, the man has no obligations over her whatsoever. Khalas. The only obligations is if they have a child.
Striving Slave says, can the woman get remarried to anyone after 1 month iddah period after khula?
Not anybody. She can't marry a kafir. She can marry any Muslim man as long as they agree. But she can't marry anybody.
Striving Slave says, I've seen a da'i in the West say that it's not an obligation to learn the Arabic language. It's highly recommended.
No, it's a wajib. It's wajib. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Quran in the Arabic language, and He sent the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaking the Arabic language, and he made it very clear that He sent that messenger to all mankind in that language. This is our language, and it's an obligation. It's an obligation. Period. You understand? There's anybody that downplays that needs to fear Allah. There's a fear of Allah. It's an obligation. Imam Shafi said it's an obligation. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. I brought the statement of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah in the Seeking Knowledge book, and I brought the statement of Imam Shafi in the book on memorization of the Quran. And all of those show that it's an obligation. I don't know anybody that would sit there and say that learning the Arabic language is something that you should do. You can't understand the deen without the Arabic language. You can't understand the speech of Allah, the speech of His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, without the Arabic language. How could that not be an obligation? Because you're prevented from knowing what's wajib upon you without this wajib. So if you're prevented from knowing what's wajib upon you until you complete this, then that makes that what? It's wajib. That's clear. Anybody that downplays that needs to fear Allah.
No more questions.
Already 8:17.
All right, tell you,
And now it's almost 2 hours long.